Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the Steeplechase Coaster contest. In this contest, all the players had to make a hardline twister coaster. Just kidding, of course. Anyway, yeah, we got some beautiful entries, like this one from Lurker, which you will see later in the video. Yeah, I will start with the entry that got the lowest score, and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Alright, in last place we have the entry from Can of Rabbit Holes. Can of Rabbit Holes erected a beautiful coaster. Not really sure about the shape. So yeah, the station over here, it gets launched, goes through this track here. You can see some weird teleporting going on. And then finally later it shoots out over here, and that's how babies are born. Right, here we have the entry from Only Chaos DJ. There's several steeplechase coasters in this entry. Each one is a little bit different. The black one is the one that players had to, or viewers had to rate. It's a launched steeplechase and travels all around here. Now, I think the layouts of the steeplechases are alright, but yeah, what a lot of people complained about a bit, what I saw in the reviews, is that the map just looks a little bit boring. I mean, there's mostly just trees and some giant buildings with only a very rough shape. So yeah, I think in the decoration department this entry could have greatly been improved, and probably that would have also made the steeplechases look a little bit more interesting. Alright, next up is the entry from Wi-Fi, a newcomer on my Discord, and he made this big castle. You don't often see these big towers being used, but they can look nice when used in the right context. Here you see the entrance of the park, then there's these paths, there's a smaller castle around here, which is the station for this three-way dueling steeplechase. I think the layout for this steeplechase looks alright. It does look a little bit on the tall side, so that's also why these trains still have a lot of speed here at the end. Okay, when you make a steeplechase, probably best to keep the height a bit lower. It may also be a good idea to not put trees exactly below the coasters, because you can see some of these supports look a little bit weird because of that. But still, overall for a first entry, I think this looks quite alright. Alright, here we then have the entry from TB. TB made this steeplechase coaster on the beach. Now I really like the colors that he used for the ride. So it looks like steeplechase track with wooden coaster track below it. So that does make it very bulky. So yeah, no chance that a gust of wind will blow this ride over. Now you can see the station, some interesting decoration here for the roof, and some big paths here. Not really sure if this path here on the beach is also necessary. I think it would have been more fun to actually have the guests walk on the beach itself, rather than an elevated path across the entire length. Still, like I said, I actually like the colors of this entry. Right, here's the entry from Widget Kitty. Widget Kitty actually used the motorbike trains for the steeplechase. Now we can see several parts of steeplechase track, but for the most part of the ride, the vehicles actually look to be driving on the roads. Now that is an interesting way to do a steeplechase, but of course it really blurs the line between a normal ride or a coaster. I don't really think many people consider this to still be a coaster. But still, it is really creative, and I really like the way it's implemented. Also, with the track actually looking like some sort of road lines, so you can see the coaster going through the construction area here. That's also quite funny. Some interesting buildings here as well. You can also see an underground section. That's also pretty cool. So yeah, lots of fun stuff to see in this entry from Widget Kitty. Okay, here's the entry from Soccer Dude. Soccer Dude created this entry sort of in a Jurassic style. You can see the racing Raptors vehicles. So the steeplechase travels around here in this area. At some point there are ramps on the track, and there the trains suddenly speed up and jump like over here. No, I think that is pretty creative. For some of the ramps though, the ramps are actually missing and they just jump in mid-air. I think that looks a little bit strange. But yeah, it's just a creative choice, I guess. No, I think the overall layout of the entry looks pretty nice. We can see this big building here in the middle with a cage match. You can see a big dinosaur here in the back, Mosasaurus, I believe it was called. And here's a powered coaster on the other side. These cave entrances look a little bit weird though. Probably meant to be viewed from this side. But yeah, it might be good to keep in mind to check their alignment from all angles, because it looks a little bit strange. But yeah, nice entry from Soccer Dude. Alright, here's the entry from Whacked. Whacked made this really cool entry in that looks like it's in the desert. Although immediately when you open the map, one of the steeplechase coasters actually breaks down. Yeah, it's probably something to check out, to look out for before you submit the entry. Although this entry was submitted in the last second of the contest. So yeah, that's something that Whacked really struggles with, finishing his entry in time. So yeah, that probably cost him some points. Also, some of the buildings in this entry just aren't finished, like these buildings over here. So yeah, it's just another example of what can happen if you run out of time. Yeah, the parts that are finished, I think they look really cool. I really like the way Whacked decorated these buildings. They look really nice, especially these over here. And there's some other really fun areas as well. So yeah, a really cool entry. Just too bad it looks a bit rushed in several areas. Okay, here's the entry from Madazalk or Glazed Ham. Madazalk looked at a video from SNS. I believe they have the rights to the Steeplechase coaster now. Or the Arrow dynamics used to make Steeplechase coasters. And I believe SNS now bought Arrow when they went bankrupt or something like that. But yeah, they released a video of their design of a Steeplechase coaster, and Madashawk copied that layout into this for this contest in this entry. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. It has some curved drops, something which the original Steeplechase didn't have, but the new design looks like it looks like it's able to do that. Some steeper drops as well. I think it looks really good with these parts of single rail coaster track spliced in. Now we can also see some other rides here that SNS makes. Here we can see a mine train coaster. You can see this this pair of tower rides. You can also see another ride over here. So yeah, I think it's a really cool entry from Madazog, and it's fun to see a concept translated into a roller coaster tycoon. Right, here's the entry from Magnum Commander. I believe it's his first entry for one of my contests. And here you can see a 4-way dueling steeplechase. Now, I think this looks really cool to have all these 4 tracks here right next to each other. To see all these trains racing against each other. I think that's also an interesting combination of tracks. Looks like steeplechase track combined with RMC track. I think that looks like a pretty nice combination. But yeah, it's fun to watch all these vehicles go around here. Now, you probably should disable weather changes before you submit. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, here we can see them race on, and here is the finish line, and from here they go underground and back to the station over here. There's also several other rides here. We can see a go-kart, and you can see a Larsen loop, and this looks like a disco or swooper it's called. Actually, I like the usage of this boomerang scenery object. We don't see a lot of this object being used. Yeah, some interesting rides and scenery in this entry, but of course this steeplechase coaster is really the star of the show. Right, here's the entry from NFE. NFP made a huge steeplechase coaster, a 3-way dueling one. Here's the station for the ride. Station's pretty simple with a glass roof. The coasters go up the first lift hill over here. Then they pass over and under each other several times. And then over here there's a second chain lift. And then they repeat what they have been doing so far. So they pass over and under each other several more times. But yeah, throughout the ride they do stay pretty close together. So I think NFE did a good job on making them race properly. Also several other cool rides. We can see a swinging ship here. There's a junior coaster which goes backwards. And yeah, there's several other flat rides. I think the layout of the map is pretty cool, with this big ride around the map, and then all these other attractions here in the middle. Alright, here we have the entry from Lips. Lips made this steeplechase coaster where the guests actually, the riders actually get chased by rats. So we can see a train leave here, and then there's this rat which follows the steeplechase as it goes through the layout and gets closer and closer. Then here it goes into a tunnel and then the rat disappears. At some point we can even see 2 rats chasing the coaster. And it's actually quite funny to watch. It's a really funny coaster. I think Lips did a nice job on that. Now, as for the foliage, I think that's probably the point where Lips could improve the most. All these trees look a bit spread out. And probably it would look much nicer if the foliage was done in clumps. For example, if we move some trees over here, and now it looks more like it's part of a whole instead of all just spread out trees. And the spread out nature of all these trees makes it all look kind of messy. So yeah, that probably could have been improved the most. But overall, I think this is a really funny entry. Alright, here's the entry from SolX. And SolX made Bumbley Beach, but in the future. So here we can see Big Dipper, which looks like it has been given a treatment by RMC. So here there's some hybrid coaster track. Also got a vertical drop, 0 G-roll over here. So it looks like the layout was improved quite a bit. You can also see a racetrack passing right through Bumbley Beach here. So it looks like some of the park has been taken over. But yeah, I think that's a really cool idea to actually see part of a racetrack passing through Bumbley Beach. That's quite convincing. Now, of course, the entry also has a steeplechase. Over here we can see a pair of dueling steeplechase coasters, and they actually have a launch track over here. So they both go gently out of the station, and then they get launched into the rest of the layout. And they use the motorcycle vehicles. So I think that's pretty fitting for the theme that Bumbley Beach apparently has now. It looks like a racing theme. So yeah, I think it all fits together really well. Alright, here we have the entry from Lurker. Now, you already saw it briefly in the beginning of the video. Lurker once again delivered a beautiful island. Now, as per usual with Lurker's entries, beautiful landscaping, nice foliage everywhere, just fun little buildings, nice rides everywhere, fun little scenes. You see a little beach over here, for example, with these towels, a little boat. It's just a beautiful entry to go through. But of course the steeplechase itself also really nicely done. Here's the station. The trains leave right next to each other, of course. A few drops, some gentle curves over here. And then over here there's the chain lift. And looks like the trains are still synced pretty well while they go on the second chain lift. Over here sort of a spiral around this drop tower. I think that's some really good interaction. Then here there's another turnaround before they return back to the station. Yeah, I think this is just a very classic steeplechase coaster layout, and it's just wonderfully done by Lurker. Alright, here we have the entry from Raymond L. I should say Levels, 'cause that's the name he goes by now on my Discord. But yeah, it's this steeplechase here in a fantasy setting. You can see the station here, looks beautiful. Yeah, the track has been beefed up a little bit with the single rail coaster track. Also these custom supports, I think they look amazing. Yeah, I think it's a great layout for the steeplechase. It just gently traverses this entire landscape here. And there's all these beautiful decorations next to the track. You can see this bridge over here, which the coaster passes through with another lift hill. Then again, a large turnaround around this drop tower. Or this, I believe it's a condo ride actually. Yeah, it's the map just has so many cool decorations. You can see a nice building over here. Let's see what's inside. Not really sure. I should probably use the cutaway view for that. But yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff to be seen. And something which really steals the show in this entry is this big rainbow that just appears at some point. Yeah, it's just really a fun entry to watch. Yeah, a wonderful job from Levels. Alright, next entry is from Low Poly Surf. This was definitely one of my favorites. It's a very elongated map. We don't really see a map shape like this very often, but it is possible now in my contests. Yeah, we see this really cool steeplechase coaster here. And Low Poly Surf actually used the soapbox derby cars. I believe it's the only entry that used these vehicles. Yeah, that was one coaster. I believe it was the coaster in Knott's Berry Farm that also used these vehicles. I believe the one in Knott's was a 4-way dueling steeplechase. Anyway, yeah. Poly Surf made this single steeplechase track, and it's just really fun to watch it travel through this beautiful landscape. I mean, there's all these cliffs, it passes over and under each other several times. It also interacts beautifully with this log flume, which also passes through the area. You can see several dangers or hazards along the way. It's also traveling through several temples, passing by old statues. Yeah, there's just so much to see. You can see a rattlesnake here. There's just so much cool stuff to see in this entry. By the way, if you want to see all these entries for yourself, you can download them from my Discord server. There's a link to my Discord server in the video description. Discord is completely free, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, amazing entry. I cannot possibly cover everything there is to see in this entry in this short video. But if you download this entry for yourself, you can go and check everything out. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Alright, there's just 2 more entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, here's the entry from Skiva. Skiva made a beautiful futuristic city with a pair of steeplechase coasters traveling through it. And he actually used one of the expansion steeplechase vehicles. This is the hoverbikes vehicle. I think it's a really good usage of this vehicle. Not sure anybody else also used it. But yeah, of course it fits beautiful in this setting. Yeah, it's just really fun to watch it travel all along these futuristic buildings. Now the buildings themselves also look great. Yeah, just a really nice mix of track pieces and scenery pieces. But it's also fun watching all the other rides travel throughout here. You can see some hover cars go around. We can see some suspended monorails. Yeah, it's just fun to explore this entry and to see everything there is to see. Also really love this top spin here in this glass extension of the building. That's just so cool. So yeah, it's just an amazing entry once again from Skiva. Okay, and here's the entry from Kongoy. And Kongoy made this 5-way dueling steeplechase. There was actually one motorcycle and 4 rapids, 4 Raptor vehicles, I should say. And they all, these tracks all merge and split again at several points throughout the layout. I think that's done in an amazing way. It's fun to watch them split up and do their own thing again at several points in the track. And it's just really clever how Kongoy did that. But not only is the track really fun to watch, all the scenery throughout the layout is all just done in an incredible way. I love the way Kongoy did the foliage. The buildings look amazing. You can also see a River Rapids ride passing through here. It's also really fun. I really like how we use this 3D cinema here as the end of the tunnel here. That's really clever. I also love all the other buildings here. Also just an amazing entry from Kongoy. I really recommend checking out these entries for yourself. Alright, it's now time to reveal which one of these last 2 entries is the winner of the Steeplechase contest. Is it this entry from Kongoy with the 5-way dueling steeplechase coaster, or is it the futuristic city from Skifa with his dueling hoverbike coaster? And the winner of the Steeplechase contest is... Kongoy! Now, we don't often see a 5-way dueling coaster, but Kongoy just did an incredible job here. It's just so fun to watch this coaster, and the dueling is done really well. Now, we got lots of really nice entries in this contest, and I really wish more people would make steeplechase coasters, because these coasters can just be really fun to watch. Alright, a new contest will start soon. If you also want to join, just become a member on my Discord server. It's completely free. You can find a link to my Discord server in the video description. Alright, that was going to be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching these entries. I think I'll finish this video with a POV video of one of the vehicles of this steeplechase coaster. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.